preseason? Was that the preseason activity?
How all these worked out. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
And we're on right here though. And welcome to the next to the last, I guess this thing's kind of winding down here. Cox Sports, college basketball coaches with USC Upstate head basketball coach Dickerson. We're just sitting here right now kind of looking back. It's kind of funny. All the way back to the media day, back in October. And boy, things sure did not go as the coaches. I didn't get to vote on any of this, but the way things panned out, the way the standings were predicted then, and the way they finished, none of them were right.
Yeah, I think that's really tough for the Big South Conference to do. I think they look at who were on the team at the end of the year, the previous year, and they try and get a prediction as far as recruiting, what most of them transfer for. And so no one saw the fact that High Point was going to be the best team in the league until the season started in November. And they didn't lose a game. They haven't lost it, but they didn't lose a game from December 19th until we beat them. And at High Point there in late January. And so it was very unpredictable to no one saw the fact that RAC wasn't going to be one of the best teams in the league. They were picked second. And they had a lot of votes for first place. And so if you look at the pickings, they got wrong the fact that no one knew about High Point. And High Point is the best basketball job in the conference, just from facility, from university to practice gym, everything they have. And then Coach Hudson did a good job of using the transfer portal, NIL funds to get to really good play. And if you look at their starting five is as good as anybody that played all year. Not in the conference, but played all year. So no one saw that coming. And essentially they were picked like seventh, eighth. And so, seventh. So it's hard to pick the Big South just because of the turnover teams have every year. And then the transfer portal sometimes is an unwilling thing.
Well, I mean, when you look at it too, from positions, let's see, right here, from positions 5 through 9, we're separated by 1 game.
Separated by 1 game. And so we, just looking at our situation in our season, we didn't play well in the first game out against Asheville, and they really got us in that game. But every other game was 1, 2, 3 possessions away. And then on the last day, we needed High Point to beat Longwood at Longwood, and that'd taken us to 7th place in the league. So the league was as competitive as I've seen since I've been in it, and it shows with the rankings, it shows with the players, it shows with coaching, and I thought from a coaching standpoint, this league was very well coached this year.
I think that you only had 2 games in conference play or losses that you had by double digits.
Yes.
And that was Asheville and that was High Point when they got picking. But you ended up having like either 6 or 7 games that were within 1 to 2 possessions.
And I told our guys that, I thought our guys did a good job, even though we had some we played a lot of close games, we had some really tough losses. I thought our guys and our coaches did a good job of staying with it and giving ourselves a chance to win and giving ourselves a chance to come back every practice. Because sometimes when you're not having a great year, it's hard to come back to practice on that Monday. You play that Wednesday, you play that Saturday, you can get up to game. because you only going, you play on Wednesday, you're not going to practice on Thursday. And you come back on Friday and one practice, and you get up for the game. But if things don't go your way, then that Monday practice is going to be tough. And I thought our guys did a great job with that. And we played good basketball at home and on the road. And so now it shows that we are battle tested. And our guys knew that we could win games in this league. And now we got this third season about to start on that night that we're all excited about.
Well, you've got to feel good too, because you're undefeated in games played where the tournament's going to be. You were the only ones to beat them on their home floor, but you're 1-0 this year, sitting at the place where the tournament's going to be.
Yeah, and Dick, you coach for a long time. And obviously, the coaches have a lot to do with the tournament and a lot to do with the outcome and process. But you look at your team as far as are they practicing hard? Are they thinking hard? Are they carrying things over? Our practice today was good as it's been. It was nice, short and sweet. We got a lot of guys banged up. We had George Surratt who wasn't in the practice today. He's got some bug going on, and so we've had a lot of nagging injuries. We had a lot of that this year. Like we go over to Winthrop and play those guys that scores 57, 55, but Patrick Ariel and Amir don't even play. And so we've had some untimely injuries. We have some untimely sicknesses. But I think our guys feel really good. We met yesterday on Sunday, which we normally don't get together. But we met on Sunday and we laid out the schedule for the next couple of days. And I gave them my expectations for Wednesday's game, playing on Friday, playing on Saturday, playing on Sunday. And we were the most united group that we've ever been. And so I like who we are right now. But we got to come in tomorrow and have another good practice and go down and win and play some good basketball.
Well, first of all, I want to credit you of doing a great job this year. One of my definitions is of a leader is someone who keeps hope alive.
Yes.
And I think you have done that, and I think your veteran players this year have done that also, because gosh, y'all had about every kind of bad luck you could have. You have seen it. Last year, PC was that team.
Exactly.
And I guess y'all inherited that this year. Maybe you're getting it all out of your system this year and all like that. But I mean, it even went down to where High Point makes a great come from behind to take the lead in the final seconds of that game you needed them to win. And they were going to play for the last shot. I thought it was a bad call on the play. I thought he got forced out though. But their player dribbles the ball out of bounds, and then Longwood makes the miracle play that they need to get the ball.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying the kind of words, because with my experience, we just had some unfortunate things happen this year, and 3 years ago and 2 years ago we did, and we finished in the top half of the conference, and we gave ourselves a chance to get to the conference final. And so I understand college basketball. I understand sometimes the balls don't bounce away. But now we're in a situation now where, we wake up this morning, George Surratt is vomiting, he's throwing up, and he's not even practice. As a matter of fact, he can't eat until dinner tonight.
Wow.
And so it's one of those things where I told our guys, there's this saying by this great general back in the war. It said, "Darn the torpedoes, full steam ahead."
Yep.
And that's what I talk to my guys about. And so our guys are saying the practice today, full steam ahead. And so there's going to be some ups and downs and peaks and valleys when it comes to a basketball season. But for us and for everybody in our conference, this is the most important, because nobody's short of the NCAA tournament bid. Everybody got to go out and earn it right now, and now this is going to be the best part of who we are.
Well, you were part, you mentioned that, of the Maryland program that made a run.
Oh, yeah.
That nobody had y'all a chance in that thing that made the big tournament run one year. And I can think back to a story of the SEC. I remember this was a weird year when the SEC tournament that year was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Tornado came. And they had to move it to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Dennis Felton pretty much was a done deal.
Yeah.
As soon as they lost their first round game, he was going to be shown the door
Yeah.
and that. And lo and behold, he has to go into his rival's gym, Georgia Tech, and runs the table, and it saved his job. And nobody, I mean, beating Kentucky, Mississippi State was
Yeah.
really good that year, though. But there's no way. And I mean, it was weird watching that scoreboard sway and the tornado while they're playing and all. I get an eerie feeling every time I watch that. But that was a miracle tournament that particular year. They even got to finish and play it. But the most unlikely team that everybody who was the worst team by far in SEC ended up winning that.
Yeah, I think if we can get healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically by Wednesday night game, we have a chance to beat that team. Now, obviously, the first game is very important, and you got to win that game no matter how. You got to win it playing great, or you got to win it playing bad, but you got to win that game, right? And so now, it's not back to back to back to back. We got a day off, and we got a day off, and then we don't travel. So we at the site. So we're good to get our rest and get ourselves on. But the most important thing for us is to don't worry about the distractions. We're on train break right now, so there's no distraction on campus. We just got to make sure that we have mind right, game right. I talk about mind right, game right, and go in and play our best basketball because. If you look at Winthrop, Longwood, Presbyterian, Charleston Southern, Radford, you look at us, anybody can beat anyone. And so I'm excited about having an opportunity to have this third season played to be our best basketball season.
And again, too, the team you play, Radford, during the regular season, you matched up really well with them. Unfortunately, you got beat on 3 out of the corner at the buzzer up there, and then you came back and took them by 9 in the Hodge Center. So again, this is a team that both times you played them, you played them pretty well.
Yeah, we were locked into both those games, and obviously their best player, Smith, hit a big-time shot in the corner. Wide open 3, and he made it. And I blame my defense a little bit, but it's since that some guys missed that shot, and he made it. And so then he came back to the Hodge and really got about 15 there, and played really well, start to finish. Now wasn't perfect, but I thought we played well. We had our best game as far as assisted turnovers. We had 20 assists and 11 turnovers, and the ball just was popping and moving, and our guys never got down on themselves. They stayed up, and they played really good basketball against a really good team.
And again, that was a good win. I think you ended up winning that one 78-69.
Yeah, we did.
So that was a good win right there. So, what things, looking at the third game, this is going to be the rubber match there. What are some things you see, that you feel like that y'all have learned from the 2 times you played this first time?
Well, Radford, 3 guards, they do a really good job of spacing those guys and getting those guys on the island where they can isolate you and go one-on-one. And I think we got to do a really good job of playing on the ball, and we got to really do a good job of being active in our gaps. Because we can't let the game turn into a ball. And then we got to do a good job of, I thought Radford took advantage of the fact that they posted up our 4-man, which would make a lot. And so we got to do a good job of figuring out how we're going to play post defense, and knowing that post defense doesn't start at the post, it starts in the perimeter. So we got to be active, and we got to get swipes in the post. We got to do a good job because I thought the first half, a lot of their most important scores in the Hodge was because they put the ball in the post to a 4-man against our 4s. But now we got to make sure that in the second half we did a good job of making an adjustment, and we denied the ball in the post. And so now they had to figure out another way to score. And so for us, it's going to be defending, rebounding, taking care of the basketball, but also having that offensive toughness and that offensive balance and that offensive selfishness that we got to play with, because when we're playing with good ball movement, good body movement, I think we can beat anybody in the league.
I think you did too. That's the thing. You know, a lot of people don't realize too that they think that, well, he's not playing a good post defense. Well, a lot of that comes too by putting pressure on the ball, or not
Absolutely.
giving that guy a good view or good angle to get it into the post too. So, like you said, it's kind of a two-way street.
Yeah, I mean, post defense for us, we talked about today, we did some drills to where it starts on the perimeter and to where we're not going to let them get a good look in there. And the post defense gives you a chance to get your primary defense, your primary defender, and your weak side defensive position. And because it's not a direct pass.
And I personally think that the hardest pass in basketball is feeding the post.
Oh my God, it's definitely gotten harder too. Because a lot of people don't work on it, right?
You're right on that, though. And you know, from being in the post and you're playing now, that you got to be together plus two. The post player has got to give a good hand target of where he wants the ball.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw it down low. You don't want to get it up too high. But that is an art. And it's kind of interesting that I watched your women's team play this year and was with the games I broadcast for them, and was most impressed of what Jason had done. They feed the post as good as anything that I've seen this year. That was an art. That's all they did.
Yeah, he worked on that a lot, and his offense is ran through the post, and he has some very good post players. And our women's team does an unbelievable job, and they were picked preseason sixth as well, and
Yes.
And they finished second in the league, and they were at one time winning the league. So Jason did a hell of a job, and he should be coach of the year.
That's who I would say.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to look now too at some of the other things on our report card here. This was the preseason picks for all conferences.
Oh wow.
And let's see how those panned out. They picked Drew Pimbers as being first team, Halford from Winthrop. They had Nicholas from Gardner-Webb.
Okay.
And they had two from Radford, which is kind of interesting right here. They had Smith and Antoine
And
both
yeah,
on there.
yeah.
And then the second team that on there, you had two on the second team.
Yep.
You
I
had
did.
Bailey from Broadnax, Harrison from Winthrop was on there, Kelly from Charleston Southern, and McMahon from Winthrop.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking down the list right now, though, and I don't know if you voted or anything like that, on who you think would be the 10 possible players on the postseason
Yep.
all Big South team.
Well, the player of the year would be Drew Pimbers, and the defensive player of the year would be the freshman from High Point. I thought he was
Bodo.
I thought he was phenomenal as far as his interior defense and his ability to protect the rim. And I think the rookie of the year, I have no idea who that's going to be. We didn't have a lot of freshmen in the league that played real
He was
well.
a freshman.
Yeah.
I think he would get that.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, he was a freshman. Yeah.
He at one time had won it, and this was still maybe midway in the season, and just making the turn. He did 17 his freshman year.
You know what I forgot about that? Yeah, so he's going to win that. But the top 10 players, I can probably give you 7 of them right now.
Okay.
I think Pimbers will be two-time player of the year.
I had him or a long shot would be Miles.
Yeah,
Miles got hurt.
yeah,
That
yeah.
affected him.
I think Miles is going to be 2. I think Hamilton on their team will be 3. I think Nichols at the Gardner-Webb was really good. I think Trey Barnex is going to be in there. I think Tafford is going to be in there. I think Nate Napper at Longwood made a big push at the end. He played great basketball, and I think Smith is going to be there as well. But I think Reddish from Presbyterian, his leadership and his toughness was unmatched by anybody in the league this year. So I think those guys will be in there a lot. And then you got Gifford. You know, when Miles got hurt, he was probably the best player in the league. He has some phenomenal games. Like he shot a lot of free throws in there. But he has some phenomenal games. So I think those
This is my list. See,
Yeah.
see what you think on what I had right there. Though.
No,
I was looking around for my awards. Nobody asked me to vote, but that's my vote. Right
No, I love your list. I mean, I think those are the guys that we talked about in the staff meeting today, and I think Napier played well down the stretch, and I love Reddish, and Smith is a good player, and Pember with his stats, I don't see how he's not going to be the player of the year. And those two guards from High Point are very good, but I think the kid Hamilton now, nobody had a game like him this year. I mean, after we beat him there, the next game he had 30 points at halftime.
I think he had 37 for the game.
Yeah, 37 for the game. Yep. So no one had a game like that. So he's going to be one of those top 10 players as well.
And again, this was interesting too, that none of the ones you mentioned were the ones that he even went to media day.
Because no one knew us.
Okay.
I mean, everyone knew that High Point has some resources and they can get some good players, but no one really knew how they were going to play together and what impact they were going to make on the league. But Coach Huss did an unbelievable job. I thought he was talented. They were the most talented team in the league. And up until about a week ago, they played as good a basketball as anybody in the league.
Well, I did not realize, because I tuned in the game late that they had on Saturday, and it was late in the second half. I kept looking at them, and I said, man, that's a tall guy. He's tall enough to be, it's not Coach Huss, tall enough that saw when he got thrown out in the first half. He got teed up twice, and he got ejected. So even his assistant coaches were tall. So
yeah, Coach Johnson, Coach Norrie, and I were on the road recruiting. And we tried to follow the game through our phones. We did a school visit in North Carolina. We went back and saw a junior college game. And on the way back, Chris Locke, our coach, texted everyone in our coaches group text and said he got thrown out. And he got two back-to-back texts. Yeah.
Well, that goes back to my old philosophy I talked about. Back in the day when you got three, my words when I got that first one is that's the first one you got right all right. So him being a new coach, he may not have realized that. He may have said that too.
Yeah.
Then got the heave-hos.
Yeah.
I never got the heave-hos. I knew you
really?
Shut up. I never got ejected from a game. Now back again when we had the leeway of three before we got that, I got my money's worth on two.
Okay.
But I actually mellowed in my whole days. I did not get as many that I would kind of just take it easy with them, because most of the officials, I had a pretty good rapport with the officials.
Yeah.
That I remember one time and was coaching a game, and we were playing at Rock Hill, that area, which you probably still get bad calls.
Yeah.
You can't talk about up there. But we were just, the calls were awful. And one of the guys calling my game was a friend, a guy that I really respected.
Okay.
And he was from Gaffney. Mm-hmm. And I said, Donnie, your two guys, they're killing me tonight. You have got to give me some help. They are killing me on the calls. And he said, I know. He said, I didn't get two good guys to work with. But I said, please, you got to give me some help. I'm getting killed. And he admitted that too. And I used to tell my players that if you can go out there and you can play a perfect game, not miss a shot, not turn the ball over, and play a perfect game, then you got a right to say something to the referees. But if you can't do that, then you better keep your mouth shut.
Well, I don't know if this is an indictment of our officials in the league, but I went to a junior college game on Saturday, and one of the guys that had 10, 15 games this year was refereeing that junior college game.
I know they're having trouble finding officials everywhere. High school's even worse than that.
Yeah, and so I think we're in a situation where we're in that ACC distortion with the ACC and the Colonial, and I think on Wednesday we do a good job of getting good officials, but I think on that Saturday everybody called the basketball play. But the officials were up and down this year, but I thought at the end, they were much better than they were at the beginning of the conference season.
And it was, like you said, it was interesting there. It was frustrating for me as a coach to sit and watch the things that were called, and I know that, you know, that even the game that you won, the last game against PC, you're sitting at the 12:08 mark, and you've got 10 team fouls in 8 teams.
I know. I know.
I was taking notes on that.
I know, and I told the guys, I told the officials that we worked on our foul, and now you telling us that our work is in vain because look at the sport, the foul trouble. But we came back at the end and made some big free throws. And gave ourselves a chance to win.
And the good thing about it was, oh gosh, they were double bonus the rest of the game. You didn't foul a whole lot. The times you did foul, I think, were shooting fouls, which they were going to get to anyway, but that did not end up hurting you that last 12:08 and being an impact to the game like I was afraid it was going to make.
Yeah, we were going to win the game, and I thought our energy was really good. I thought our resolve was really good, and I thought Jalen Brazil has been playing as good of a basketball as anybody that plays since I've coached at Upstate. You know, what, 22, 23 assists and 2 turnovers. And so he was making all the right plays for us, and now it's good to see him. I think right now, I don't want to jinx him, but he's healthy. And now with his health coming from that Achilles injury from 2 years ago, last year, now he's playing the best basketball. And so now we needed a good decision maker. And we needed someone to get the ball to the right people. And he's done a good job with that.
And if he would just get his confidence turned back in his shot. Because he's passing us really good high percentage shots. I know he's making the extra pass for assists, but that shots that you may not get a better one at, even if you back pass it 2 or 3 more times.
And he did the same thing in practice today. And I stopped practice and said, hey, look, what shot do you want? You want the one you took in the first part of practice, or you want this one? Because it was an inside-out 3, and he was wide open. Yeah, and so, you know, but he's been playing well, and he's been healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically right now. And so now we just got to keep him on that trajectory because he gives us something that we didn't have before we started playing good basketball.
And again, your point guard is a key position. He's the one that makes it run.
Absolutely.
And go right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see right here. Do y'all still, this was something that I purchased, one of the best things I ever purchased was the shooting machine, the gun.
Yep, we have.
Do y'all have that?
Yep, we have that. And this is what we've done this week. Since we're on spring break, we have the guys come in from 9:30 to 11, 30-minute intervals, and we get shots. We just want to see the ball go in. And we work on some concept deals, but we mainly get shots. And then in practice, the first part of our practice is concepts and shots as well. And then you tell the guys, you want to come back in at night, you got to do it before 10 p.m. We don't want you coming in at 10:30, 11 o'clock and use the shooting machine. And so that shooting machine really helped guys go from not a good shooter to a really good shooter.
They can, because you get so many in there though. And again, we were one of the 3 leading, still the state record book for threes in the season.
Really?
That we had 163 won
Oh, wow.
as a team, and that we emphasize that. I used to tell people back in my earlier days before I had some of the athletes that I had later on that I didn't have big 6'8" athletic kids or big people like that. I cannot teach you to be 6'8", but I can teach every man on my team to shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And then we put things in a tough situation of making other teams big athletic post rim protector having to come out and play my smaller 5 guy. And if he didn't, we lit them up. And then when they did, with our offense, we were always running motion by penetrating and kicking it out from 3 and all like that. Then we cleared him out of there and we were in business. So.
How would you get your 5-man out And so I'm assuming that you were starting in the post.
That we actually, we came down, and this is what our offensive set looked like right here. We've got the ball up top. I've got everybody outside of the arc right here.
Okay.
And we double screen down when he comes down here, both ways. And then when he so he can try to beat his man, and this is kind of like what Johnson from Charleston Southern was doing.
Yeah.
That if he can beat his man off the dribble and go to the basket there, then we got to play up top. But see, everybody's going to end up being in this position up here, up top, because let's say he passes it over here. When he passes it to this guy who comes up here, then he immediately goes and screens. So this guy's coming off a staggered double screen to replace up top there.
Oh.
So all 5 guys touch the ball on the offense, but let's say that he goes and tries to beat his guys, and this man right here helps, then we kick it out. We got a wide open 3.
Yeah, and I'm assuming after the stagger screen right there, you guys face off that as well.
We do. The rule was that we put all 5 of our men had to be outside the arc. And I even on my court filled in and painted this red all in there so they knew where to line up. That nobody was inside the 3-point arc.